Yeah, that's my problem with leaving. I didn't in a while. But we went to Bailey Zimmerman.
Oh shit! My mom said that was a really good concert.
Oh shit!
I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. Just trying to get all the angles for the video. Yeah, I just want to fuck with people. Yeah, you're right. You got bigger ones. Gonna be. Hearing about. There we go.
Right there?
A good one. Same. I put an appropriate bump. Do the old squeeze test for Justin. Best shocks in the game, baby.
There you go. He owes us for that problem.
No shit. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another KWS NARC 410 wing video. Today we're at our local track in Santa Maria, and we're going to get right into qualifying. This track was very unique. There was a big bump going into 3 and 4, and my heart kind of just told me to rip 1 and 2 how you always rip 1 and 2, get a good entry, and just kind of carry it out. And I should have hit my tear-off button on the GoPro, but I'm not going to do that while I'm racing. That's a little sketchy. But, yeah, I mean, 1 and 2 is pretty basic at Santa Maria. I don't think it's that basic, but I've just turned a lot of laps here, so it's just, you kind of just follow the banking all the way through, and it's just something that I can kind of see after running so many laps here. And then same as for 3 and 4, but the hole kind of usually throws you for a little bit of a loop. And now we qualified P3 that put a starting pole of the heat race, start next to Brandon Bud Kading, and I was getting a good start. Bud was leading me, and I did exactly what Steele did to me on our start at Watsonville. Bud went a little early, and he had a better start than me, so I wasn't going to let him have a better start than me, so I lifted and waited for him to lift, and at that time, he was already at the cone, and I went, and I stood on the gas, and I feel like that's a good way to play these NARC starts. If people are going to do that to me, I'm gonna do that to people 10 out of 10 times. If you have a better start than me, I'm just gonna lift and let you get penalized, and if they don't penalize you, then I'm gonna get the start of a lifetime. And there, we rolled into it nice and early. Sean stayed with us on the outside, and I drove it in there as deep as I possibly could into 1 and 2, because I know that in 1 and 2, the bottom is, or not the bottom, but the grip is always very consistent through the whole entire corner. Not all the time, but if it is, it's gonna be there and it's gonna be good. And the exit's pretty much where the track really starts to widen out, especially in 1. It's always going to have a lot of grip on the bottom of 1 at Santa Maria, and all the way until the apex of the corner, and then that's when you have to start to let it float and mitigate the rest of your corner. But one thing I noticed, and I really wanted to be better about, was trusting my intuition. And my intuition told me that the going 4 above it in 3 and 4 was going to be the move, because it started to get so slick and just still choppy through the middle of 3 and 4. And you were just going to kind of bounce yourself out of the grip, and you were going to lose so much time on entry. So I've lost heat race wins, and I've lost positions to not trusting my intuition. So I figured, screw it, home field, home game, let's just trust ourselves and do what we know how to do. And it actually paid off. And then everyone after this started running 4 above it. I'm pretty sure I started kind of the trend, because I watched the next heat race, and Ryan was running 4 above it on entry, but he was kind of doing a little bit of a cut down lane. But I don't feel like the cut down was really the move yet in in this point of the race, because you could just carry so much speed all the way through the whole entire corner. As you watch me just reel in Cohen right there. And then same for 1 and 2. You can kind of run wherever, and it's better to be up higher like it is right there, but you kind of lose so much time on the exit. And then 3 and 4, you just kind of connect your 2 corners, and just like that, we're in the dash. That was pretty critical for me doing well at this race, is winning the dash. You gotta starting up front in these NARC races is pretty crucial. If you can start up in the front, that's half the battle pretty much, because everyone's so good, and the top 6 guys in any given feature are gonna be able to win, and it just comes down to mistakes and putting yourself in positions to win these races. And putting myself front row of a dash was definitely crucial for that. And right here, I knew I was going to have to come down the hill a little bit and hit this grip right here with my left rear, because there wasn't really much from the center off. And Ryan got a better start, but I had more momentum going into the first corner. And I knew as long as I kept my momentum up, he kind of lost momentum right there. So I said screw it, and I just tried to stick the bottom, and I have no idea how I did this. Ryan kind of floated the middle and screwed himself, where he should have just committed all the way up to the top, but he was trying to protect right there. And same thing as the beginning of the heat race. I know that you can drive it in so freaking deep into the bottom of 1 and 2. And at that point, I'm going to put Ryan in a position to where he has to lift. And starting pole versus second at Santa Maria is immensely crucial as well, especially with the NARC officials being really tight on the restarts. I would rather be the one that starts and sets the pace. So I knew I really wanted to beat Ryan in this dash, because if I could do that, then I could control the whole entire race, and it was going to be difficult to get around people on this racetrack. Not for it just being really narrow and stuff, but just because these NARC guys are good, and they don't make many mistakes, especially on a Santa Maria where there's 2 different corners and it's really hard to make up ground. And I felt like winning this dash really helped me in the feature, and that was immensely crucial for the success of the night. Because like I said earlier, you just want to put yourself in these positions, and definitely starting pole of these races and controlling the start of the race, putting yourself out in the lead, and then controlling the lead at your own pace is definitely crucial. And I learned a lot about controlling races this weekend and just putting myself in those positions. That's sick. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty badass. I had to throw that clip in there because I could hear you fans cheering for me, and that was really awesome. Thank you guys for all showing up. The crowd was spectacular. But let's get into the main event. So now, same thing as before. I had to roll into it, get my posture right on the start, and just keep Ryan at bay through the first corner, and kind of just make sure my exit was really good, because as long as the exit's good of 2, you can carry a lot of speed down the straightaways, especially when these straightaways are super slick. 3 and 4 kind of it threw me for a little bit of a loop the whole entire feature. I didn't know what the fastest line was, so I was constantly trying to figure it out, and I was guessing, trying to go here, trying to go there, just really trying to figure it out the whole entire time. 1 and 2, I could tell that it was moving up and it was getting a little slicker, and as you could see me grab a little wing because it was a little loose on entry, and I just kind of wanted to bury my foot in it a little bit harder without having the left rear kind of kick out and lose the right rear. So I just rolled the wing back a little bit, and I believe under the first caution I grab a lot of right front shock, maybe about 5 clicks, because I'm just loose from the center off, and I felt like it was the same in both corners just for how loose the track was. And the way I could, if it got really tight because I softened up my right front that much, I'd just drive it harder, just drive the shit out of the thing, or just bury it into a rut and kind of bury that right rear into the dirt. And now we're approaching lap traffic, and this is where I learned a lot about myself. In these situations, I usually tend to drive it really hard, and this is when I lose my my comfortability, is what I would call it in the past. Because you're in lap traffic, you're slowing down for the guys in front of you, they're not running at your pace. Now you're doing a ballerina act of trying to balance your raw pace and get around these guys and make really good decisions. And with that, see, like right there, like you kind of, the track at Santa Maria is a little dark, so I kind of lost my roadmap a little bit right there, stood on the gas a little bit too hard to try and stay on Cohen. And yeah, I just hit the wall a little bit. I knew Ryan was really close behind me because of my shitty exit off of both corners, so I knew I had to slide Cohen. I had to get by him. And then as for Kyle, he kind of entered somewhere different every single corner. So Kyle screwed me over at Kern last year at the end of the year, and I was not going to let him do that to me again. So I tried to do a cool guy move, and the cool guy move didn't work because he entered high and tried to exit low, and yeah, we just met in the middle, and that's racing sometimes. Sorry, just like at Kern, if you guys have seen my Kern KWS video. But now we're back to leading. Car's fine. Let's just execute the start, get a really good run, and I believe this was a red. Billy Aton on the restart got upside down. Sucks for Billy. But now it's a single file restart, and now I'm just waiting for Ryan to get anxious. I feel that Ryan bumps me a little bit, and once he bumps me, I lift to let him have a conscious mind of, I'm lifting, oh shit, I'm still on Caleb's bumper, and then he has to kind of get on the brakes, and once I feel that bumper just let off my rear bumper, that's when I go. So I wanted to put him on his toes instead of me being on my toes on the restart, and I wanted him to have to think about what I was going to do, and I just did what felt natural and just kind of did it all under feeling. My dad told me to run the middle in 3 and 4, and I saw Maverick. He good job, Maverick, on winning the 305, man. I don't know if you watched the videos, but good job. I was pumped for you, buddy. That was cool to watch you get the win, even though it was cut short. And this was kind of the line that he was running, and it looked good. He was kind of dominating the 305 feature. It's just so hard to tell because the 410s also have the power to pull the whole entire top, and the exit is what really threw me for a loop because you couldn't stand on the gas. You pretty much had all your speed. No matter if you drove it into the corner at 100 miles an hour, you were going to exit at 80. Or if you drove it into the corner at 80 miles an hour, you were going to exit at 60. So wherever I felt like I could gain the most amount of speed on entry was going to be the fastest way for me to get through the whole entire corner. And as I continued to run the middle, I just had this feeling that the top, and right as I say that, I had this feeling that the top or maybe the cut down line was going to come in. And I tried the cut down right there, and it did not feel good. I felt like I stalled out from the center off of the corner, and I just lit up my tires, and I wasn't going anywhere down the straightaway. And I didn't get that feeling when I would kind of run the middle. I tried a slider line right here, just trying to still figure it out, but the exit grip wasn't that good on the top of 4, so I figured it was probably just time to start ripping the top again. And Kyle's just right in the middle of the racetrack, and he kind of goes to the middle. I'm thinking that maybe Cohen's going to slow down a little bit, so I tried to float the middle, and this is what told me that the middle wasn't that good, just because of how even Kyle stayed with me. And I know that he wasn't really lighting the tires up on the thing, so I knew that the top was probably going to be the best way to get around the corner for myself and give myself the best chance, because I felt like that was probably where I could carry the most entry speed and then carry the most exit speed. But definitely the cut down was the way to do it on the starts, and then just rip 1 and 2. Just pretty much slot car it right around the color change, get the car down the backstretch, and then just rip the top. Be as high up as you possibly can, just like that. And just, I mean, you were still kicking the ass end out and still getting a little wonky down the straightaways, but man, the car just kind of, it took it, it handled it. It fluidly went through the whole entire corner. But those bumps on the entry kind of made it a little bit difficult, and I imagine the guys in the back could have been running right through it, running below it, kind of kicking it up, making it a little bit trickier for me to kind of decide my line. But I felt the most comfortable in the beginning running the top, so I felt like, yeah, it's time to just commit to the top and just log laps. I knew that 1 and 2 I was extremely comfortable, and no one was going to get me in 1 and 2, and if anyone was going to show me a nose in 3 and 4, I was just going to keep on doing what I was doing, because I felt that comfortable and calm just logging these laps. And I felt like that's what I learned from the beginning when I ran into Kyle and I smacked the wall off the exit trying to get around Cohen. I get on the gas a little bit too much when I get around these lap cars, and it's not so much just logging the laps, it's just executing them and keeping your foot at a constant calm pace up in the front of these races. You don't have to be setting quick time laps every single lap when you're leading these features. As long as you're just logging smooth laps, it's going to be really hard to get around me, I feel like. And that's kind of the one thing I've been missing a lot of lately, is just having that confidence and the calmness to leading these laps. And big shout out to Kevin with Moda Coaching. He's helped me a lot with that. And I feel like that's kind of been my biggest thing. And I'm still going to have to work on it a lot. But you just need to calm down when it comes to leading these races and just keep the car nice and straight and just fluid. Make the whole entire racetrack fluid, and we don't have to be hitting 11.9s. As long as you're hitting those 12.2s every single lap, and the guys behind you may be hitting an 11.9 once every 5 laps. But guess what? That 11.9 comes at a cost, because it also comes at a cost of an 11.7 whenever you hit a hole really hard. And those 11.7s are 12.7s, 11.9s, that's all over the place. But my 12.2s, 12.1s, those are mad consistent. And as long as you can keep it mad consistent, it's going to be really hard to pass me, I feel like. And that's kind of my biggest thing. And I feel like that's what ultimately ended up leading to me winning my first NARC race. But now it's time, we're getting into some lap traffic. I know that the laps are winding down, but I'm not really focused on that. I'm really just focused on just keeping the exits. My focus here was really the exits and trying to make my entry as perfect as I possibly could wherever my foot felt the most perfect, just so that way I could get my exit as calm and smooth as possible. That was kind of my big main focus. And right here I almost cost myself because I tried to stand on the gas, and with all the adjustments that I made to the car, it kind of just stuck me right there. And then I knew Bernal was right there, and I threw a Hail Mary on Cohen, and yeah, I wanted this win bad, so I knew that one was really tight on you, Cohen. I'm sorry for that, but I had to go, dude. I could not stay behind you for another corner. I had to put it behind, but Cohen did his job. It takes two people to wreck. One person's got to lift, and yeah, that's just how it is. But now white flag lap and first NARC win, baby. I got a little excited on the last lap and kind of drove it in there a little bit hard, and it kind of kicked the ass end out, and bam. Thank you all for watching, and just enjoy the raw emotion of me winning my first NARC race here.
This kid definitely gets it. It's up there, right by my bike. Thank you. Thank you guys for coming.
What do I say?
What do you say?
Yeah, what do I say?
I don't know. Something. How was the race?
How was the race?
How was it from your perspective? Was it fun? Was it fast? Is this your first one?
No, but I haven't seen the 410 since like before COVID.
So 410s are awesome.
Yeah.
Do your parents watch the YouTube?
No, I'm the only one.
Okay. Would you say 410 racing's badass?
Yeah.
That's what I'm like. And then since you are the first person ever asked to be on the video, you get that. That's all yours.